Hi, I'm Javaune Simpson and welcome back to Speak Up. Now for today's topic, we're talking about... Hi, I'm Javaune Simpson and welcome back to Speak Up. Now for today's topic, we'll be talking about 2020 in a holistic way, from January coming straight back up to December. Today's December the 30th and I'm doing this video right now and I'm hoping to post this video by the latest tonight, right? So I hope you guys get it and not tell me that you got it December the 31st or whatever it is, right? But anyways, I made a list of things that happened to me in the 2020 year. I know that a whole lot of persons will be doing videos as regards to 2020 and what happened to them and their experiences, and many persons will be giving their opinions as it pertains to whether or not it was terrible, it was good, it was alright kind of thing, and whether or not it was just an experience filled year. For me personally, I would have to say it was an experience filled year, a year in which I will not say that I hate it, because I really don't hate it. It was a year that taught me a whole lot of things about myself as an individual. I learned a whole lot of things about myself. I'm straying, because I have the list right here, and I already am giving you things that are on the list. Let me just get right into the list before I talk anymore. So first up, I'll just say 2020 started off pretty normal to me. Came back from the holidays. I came back from visiting family and friends elsewhere, and when I came back I was pretty sick in terms of having the flu. I don't think it was a corona. I don't know, but I don't think it was. Probably it was. I don't know. I really don't know. If it really was the corona, then I would have gotten the corona like a couple months before Jamaica actually had it as a thing for them, but anyways, 2020 started off pretty normal for me, as I mentioned before. Let me get back to my list. I was pretty hopeful, I can tell you that much. I was pretty hopeful, it being 2020, numbers being all equal and all, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be the year, and all these good stuff. And believe in me, I can't say that it wasn't the year, because it most definitely was the year. Indeed, it was the year that taught me that, hey, Javaune, you have Yamid tendencies. Javaune, you do crazy stuff. Like Javaune, you have the ability to mess up, and mess up hard and mess up bad, and all these things. And not just that, but Javaune, you do have potential. Javaune, you can make it. Javaune, you can be the individual in which you want to be, the individual in which you aspire. You are inspired. You were motivated to be. You were called to be. And so all of this spoke to me in different ways. 2020 was the year. I met new people. Every year you meet new people, basically. But I just wanted to mention that there. I tried new things, and I just wanted to know that it wasn't always good things. I tried good and bad things. I love to be transparent. For those of you who know me, if you know me, you know me. That I love to be transparent. Some persons think that I'm secretive, but I'm really not secretive. And if you're paying attention, you would really realize that I'm not secretive. I'm pretty upfront about a lot of things, right? But anyways, met new people. I tried new things, good and bad things. I got bolder, and I mean a lot bolder, a whole lot bolder. Like, I got bolder to the point where I don't really even edit my videos, like I just put them out there just like that. All I do is just put the intro at the front, music there, and all the outro at the end of it. That's it, and I think that's growth for me. Gone are the days when I would actually want to cut up most of the video, just to not let person see the fact that I made a mistake here, I made a mistake there. No, I won't say I don't care. I think I care enough to let you know that, hey, Javaune make some mistakes though. Yeah, so to all of the persons that, let me not even mention them yet, because their part is there. This is not only just about me, and I learned things about people too, and so I included that. So shout out to Jonathan McReynolds for singing that song People. Yeah, it really touched me. Yeah, so I got bolder, a whole lot bolder. I experienced the old me. Experience the old me. Now, for those of you who know the old me, I mean, You know, some persons when I talk about the old me, you know, a lot of them don't believe that I was, you know, that troublesome, or I was that rude, or I was that, you know, bad, or whatever it is. You know, a lot of persons don't believe that person existed, but that person did exist. Yeah. Also, you know, in moving on, I took risk, you know, good and bad risk. You know, these things are, you know, the mere fact that I mentioned I tried new things, that's what I'm talking about. The mere fact that I tried, you know, risky things, you know, good and bad things. Yeah, I did. And believe you me, I've been learning my lesson, right? I cried a lot, you know. And I say cry. Usually when I talk about crying, I always say, you know, I cry on the inside. And I usually tell people that, you know, crying on the inside means a whole lot more to me, because I hardly ever cry on the outside, you know. So, but this year I did cry on the outside, quite a few times, you know. And it's like within a particular time frame as well. When was it first? I don't remember when I cried first. Perhaps I cried when. Did I cry when I was sick earlier this year? I'm pretty sure I almost died like at least 2 times this year, right? Some of you know about both times. Some of you know about only one. Some of you don't know about any. Which perhaps would be because you haven't been watching my videos. But, you know, I'm pretty sure I almost died at least 2 times. The first time would be back earlier part of this year, when I was experiencing some harsh nosebleeds. I don't know why, but I'm pretty convinced it's because of some sinus problems in which I've developed magically, you know, in the last 2 years. I remember when I was working in St. Anne's Bay in 2018, I then just started having sinus problems, you know. Then after that, you know, it has just been, you know, continuous, you know, a consistent thing. Well, not consistent, it has just been continuous, I would say, but just not consistent, you know, if you can differentiate between those two words, you know. So it has continued, you know, whether or not it takes a break, like perhaps a month or 2, you know, but it has continued, but just not consistently. You know, because consistently would suggest that, you know, there's no breaks in between, you know. Yeah. I was thinking I had to say that right there, because I'm crazy enough not to understand it. So perhaps I have some friends that wouldn't understand what I'm saying as well. Alright, yeah. So as I cried that, I got another taste of love. Yeah. And this person I wouldn't have met this year. You know, I would have met her some years ago. But, you know, things slowly progressed, you know. The end of last year, close to the end of last year, you know, we got pretty close. Then we got even more close this year. And yeah. So I know the question is out there. So what? Is this girl going to marry or whatever it is? No, you know. Well, I don't know, you know, because I don't know what might happen in the future, but, you know, as it is, or where it is right now, we decided not to go down that road, for various reasons. I won't get into that part, not because I wouldn't want to share. I'm okay with sharing. I'm just pretty sure she'll be watching this video, and I wouldn't want to stir up any more emotions. Alright, but anyways, moving forward, but just know I got another taste of love, and she is, you know, thanks be to God, she's the reason for that. Gave me a whole different perspective on things. No, your boy, you know, earlier this year, your boy didn't really, you know, want to focus on the marriage thing, but no, you know, she has, you know, really changed my perspective a whole lot as regards to that. So you see, I tell you about experiences, you know, this year, you know, even though my heart got broken a couple of times, you know, like, at least, you know, at the end of the day, she actually changed my perspective in terms of, you know, yeah, got a taste of love, and I'm like, yo, this tastes good, brother. Like, yo, need to get some, alright, let me not be crazy. Alright, moving on. So I reimagined my life, and this is basically about that, you know. That's how much, you know, I got a taste of love. I reimagined my life. Like, I imagined my life being in Jamaica, not being in Jamaica. I imagine my life, being married, not being married. I imagined what? Being successful by the help of God. Claim it in Jesus' name. Yes. Yeah, I imagine a whole lot of things. Some of the things I would mention, but I don't want to mention it because they're still in the works and I don't want to mention them, alright? So by the help of God, you guys will see the things in which I reimagined, and change my perspective on. Yeah, so anyways, I lost hope, then regained it a whole lot of times, and that's just the honest truth. You guys know me as a Christian, but I can tell you straight up, I'm one of them Christians that, I've been trying, and I'm still trying a whole lot, because I've fallen down many times, and not just 2020. I've fallen down previous years, and these are things that I would have spoken to persons about. So this is not something that I keep to myself, it's just that I tell you on a need to know basis type of thing, so like for example, I have friends that would come and tell me about, let's say, sexual immoralities, and fact that they masturbate or whatever it is, and I'd be like, I too, I go through those things too, and this is how I've been trying to get over it, and this is how, it has really pulled me back, but yeah, so I would have told persons about these things, and over the years, persons would have criticized me for it, persons would have appreciated, me, and appreciated my side of the story, or appreciated my knowledge or wisdom as it pertains to certain things. I did talk about sexual immorality in a video before this in this year as well, and funny, and it's always said that, I always had this idea that when you talk about something, especially when it comes down to something spiritual, be prepared to be tested on that same thing, right? Because I spoke about that thing, and I was tested on it, and I failed. Yeah, I failed the test. I failed it deeply, but nevertheless I gained lessons from it. I gained valuable lessons from it, important lessons from it. Yeah, that's all I would say about that. Anyways, what else? And last hope, then we get, I said it already. I hurt others. Let me stop right there before I even continue. I hurt others. Came to the realization that I already knew I wasn't a saint. Some of you guys thought I was a saint. I'm not a saint, right? I'm trying to get there, but I'm not there as yet. So I've hurt persons, and I know that in living this life, I will hurt people. I always say it as well, even in the dating stage or just a talking stage of a relationship, whether or not we're just friends or not. I will say certain things like, if the person, say for example, promise me you'll never hurt me, I'll be like, I promise I'll never hurt you intentionally, because that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Like, you can't promise someone to never hurt them simply because it doesn't take much for you to hurt somebody. That's just the reality of it. I can be here one day and be like, I'll give you this example. I've been in position where I'll be like, I'm trying to compliment somebody, I'll be like, yo, you look good, girl. And the girl will be like, why are you talking about my body? I'll be like, well, isn't that a good thing? Isn't that a good thing that I'm saying that you look good? I thought that was a good thing. And the girl will be like, no, it's not a good thing. Don't focus on my body. Focus on my personality. I'm like, okay. And that makes me learn, that, not every girl wants to be commended or, given a compliment based on how it is that they look as an individual. And I mean, it wouldn't be anything derogatory or anything like that. It would just be like me just telling you that you look good. If you look good in a dress, especially if you're wearing, persons that know me know that I love blue. And if you look good in a blue, if you're wearing blue, and I know and I feel like you look good, I'm going to tell you that you look good. I'll be like, yo, especially in my favorite color. And don't even think that it's me trying to flatter you or trying to get in your skirt or your clothes or whatever it is. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. I was thinking about it while ago. It's not that. Right? I can really like you. I can really not be attracted to you and can still tell you that and can still compliment you, and that's just how firm I am in who I am as an individual. You know, I will compliment even a guy. That's just me. Persons think it's gay. I don't think it's gay. I think it's being straight and being secured in who you are as an individual. If you can't compliment somebody and tell them say them look good when them look good, then who are you? You need to find out who you be. You understand me? So anyways, told girls that they look good and they were offended by it. You know, and so that would be me offending them. You know? And can you just imagine if I had promised them that here I would never offend them or never hurt them or whatever it is, and they're hurt by the mere fact that I'm paying attention to their body. Some of you might be like, that's weird, why would she think that you're, you know, being offensive when you're telling her that you're like, but that's fine, and I understand it. As an individual that studies behavior, I know that there are persons out there who are insecure about their bodies to that extent where they don't want to hear persons complimenting different aspects of their body. Or the thing is that the way society makes things look, you know, is that, if let me just give it in the simplest terms. For some of us, you know, as guys, we make it bad for ourselves. So gentlemen, we make it bad for our own selves. You know, sometimes we have some men out there who, you know, say them a compliment girls and they be like, yo, baby, you look fat up. We come from buff beer. Yeah, that type of thing. And of course that will be considered to be insulting to the female. If it is that the lady, you know, considers herself to be any, you know, mature kind of woman, you know, any Proverb 31 type of woman type of thing. And I'm not saying if you don't consider it, I don't know, you know, this kind of sticky. But anyways, I can tell you, majority of the ladies out there won't find such compliments to be complimenting at all. They will find it to be derogatory and be offensive, right? Let's put that aside now. Now when it is that I, as a young man, is just trying to point out the mere fact that you look nice in a dress, she might, you know, she hear what I'm saying, you know, but, you know, in her head it's like I'm saying, yo, you look fat up, and, you know, when actually I didn't say that, you know, but she just, you know, making reference to what it is that other guys would have said, you know, in previous times. And so it's our fault, guys. You know, we need to eradicate the world of such derogatory comments and derogatory men out there, you know. And sometimes even as good gentlemen or agents of the Lord, we do fall to such temptations and lust and bad complimenting, as we might call them, and say some derogatory things and do some derogatory things in our lifetimes as well. So we have to, you know, be straight up about it and try to change as best as possible. So I learned my lesson in terms of that. You know, I learned to just try and keep it as simple as possible in terms of complimenting females, you know, especially if it is that I've never complimented her before, right? So I try to ease off a bit. But sometimes, ladies, they just look good. You can't wrong with say look good. You just look good. You have to just admit you look good, right? Cool. Moving on. What else? Where am I? Yeah. Oh, so I said I hurt others. Then I must admit, you know, I've been hurt, and persons must know that. You know, I've been hurt a lot as well. But, you know, I was learning to get over it, and not just get over it and leave it as a mental, you know, thing in my head, because that's what we do at times. You know, we try to get over certain situations or certain circumstances and not necessarily go through it. So we don't necessarily need to get over it, we need to go through it, you know, in terms of going through the emotions, going through the sadness, the happiness about whatever it is that we're experiencing. And then we'll be able to better off, you know, manage these things. And that is me tapping into my professional side. Well, I'm always tapping into my professional side. I'm just, you know, giving you a good pointer there, right? So go through it instead of trying to get over it. You know, sometimes we tell the mountain move, and the mountain not gonna move because it's something that you have to experience, and therefore you just have to ask God for the strength to climb over this mountain, all right? And not just think that every mountain I gotta just move when you tell it to move. No, and that's how it go, all right? Alright, and I think you should actually ask for that as well. Ask for the wisdom and understanding to know when to tell the mountain move and when to tell them, and when the mountain must stay still so you can actually get over it, right? Sometimes you really do need that experience, and 2020 was that experience for me. 2020 was that mountain that 2020 was that mountain that I shouldn't have told. 2020 was that mountain. Let me say it. 2020 was that mountain that I couldn't tell to just get lost or ask God to move that mountain there. 2020 was that mountain that I needed to climb over, that I needed the experience, I needed the knowledge, I needed the understanding, I needed everything that 2020 had to offer. And so I'm grateful for 2020 in that way, to be honest. That's just me giving my honest opinion there. I'm grateful for it in that sense, right? In moving on, I was broken. I was broken for a great portion of 2020. But now I do feel whole to some extent. I think it's because of the experiences in which I would have went through. I experienced myself. I experienced other people. I experienced criticisms. I experienced well-wishing. I experienced a whole lot of things. I experienced a whole lot of. I'm just grateful for everything. I felt pain. I felt joy at the same time, right? I felt anger. I felt peace. I was robbed. Let me just include all of them things together, because that's something that changed a whole lot of my perspectives. Yeah. And this is where it falls down to when I say, I tapped in back to my old self. I think when I was robbed, it made me tap in to my old self a whole lot. For a brief moment, I no longer wanted to be a Christian. I'll be honest and tell you that. For a brief moment, I no longer wanted to be a Christian. For a brief moment, I wanted to get the strap. For a brief moment, I wanted to get a strap and find them and be like, yo, I'm mean rob. It just shows you how good God is. For a brief moment, I wanted to become. It's like I just wanted to tap in to that. I don't know. I don't know if I explain it. I don't know if I explain it. I just don't want to explain. Let me say that. Let me say I don't know how to explain it. I just can't, but I just don't want to go back there right now. But I think I've gotten over. And this is me being honest. I think I've gotten over to some extent, because even since week, I think probably even yesterday, there will just be days when I just go back to that moment in time, and I'll be like, yo, all the things I could have done, or all the things I should have done. And it just comes back to me, and the spiritual side is just always coming back and saying, yo, Javaune, the best thing that could have or should have happened. And it's like you don't know how to understand that, or you don't know how to accept that in a sense, because you're like, at the end of the day, but they still took things that belong to me. They didn't take everything, thanks be to God, but at the end of the day, they did take things that belong to me. And I think it translates in this. I'm kind of getting emotional right now, but it kind of translates into me thinking, as a Christian, you're thinking sometimes that you're untouchable, and really and truly you're untouchable, but untouchable to what extent? Because the reality is that it didn't touch your life, and so, as a matter of fact, the person didn't even touch me physically. Well, other than tapping me on my leg or whatever it is, just to let me know that, hey, this is a robbery. In terms of, puffing my chest, because he puffed the chest of the young man beside me and all that, and full on a body up and thing. And I was just there, because I was there having a full conversation with these guys. I was like, yo, I'll drop me again in the car. I think I told you guys that before. I think I was like, yo, person had a Wi-Fi, hotspot on them phone for connect phone for take out my iCloud off of my phone. And while waiting, I was there like, I want this slow flow. This is where you insert a laugh. You should laugh right here. I was like, what is this? Slow flow? And man, we're looking at me. Even the driver look at me in the rear view mirror like, look at me in the mirror like, boy, you serious? Are you joking me, Nagi? But that's me, because you don't know when I make fear run your life, and this is what I keep on telling people: don't make fear run your life, because the moment you make fear run your life, people go and take advantage of you. And I think that perhaps the man them look nervous in the car, and I think that most likely because they realize that I wasn't being fearful. They didn't pay attention to me, because if they paid attention to me, perhaps they would have lost the so-called power in which they thought that they had at that appointed time. And so I just gave them what it is that they asked for, you know. Just gave them what they asked for, and that's it. Let me out and came out and walked my way, you know. Anyways, moving on. What else? Almost done, you know. Not going too far. I don't even want this to reach 30 minutes. Yep, was Rob. Oh, Lost Faith. I guess you would have picked that up, because the moment I told you that, there were moments when I felt like I didn't want to be a Christian at the time. I just wanted to tap into my old self, and yeah, I lost faith. Felt like giving up, and parts of me did give up. Let me just say that parts of me did give up. Yeah, parts of me did give up. I criticized, and I was criticized, and I you know, I think the first part in which I thought about for that part was I was criticized. But then I realized to myself, you know, Javaune, if I'm being honest with myself, you know, I've criticized persons too, you know, and that's just the honest thing about us as human beings. We have to be honest with ourselves, you know. Have we ever judged anybody? Have we ever criticized anybody? Yes, we have. On a day-to-day basis, I can guarantee it, you know, because sometimes it's something that it's within. I think it's perhaps a recipe in our culture. When our culture was being made, you know, criticisms and judgments was a part of it. You know, as human beings, the sinful side of us will want to criticize and judge other persons, you know, and want to pick the little tiny dust out of somebody's eye when a big or rock stone in a fairway eye. You understand what I say? So yeah, I criticized persons and I was criticized. I remember, let me not even get into that, but yeah, just know, say, I criticize people and I got criticized. And just like the Bible say, you know, judge ye not even I want to get judged. Bottom line, Patwatch version, layman term. Yeah. I gain knowledge about myself. I gain a whole lot of knowledge about myself. For real. I think I kind of learned, you know, what made me want to jump into the old gangster me, you know, type of thing. Want to get the strap type of thing. Yeah. Persons out there might take it for a joke, but I'm being serious. I'm being very serious. Being very serious. You know, I wanted to tap in back to that old me, but you know, by the help of God, I didn't, and that's what I'm grateful for. And in closing, I want to say, people, I know we have a whole lot of New Year's resolutions that we'll be setting and all these things. Whether internally or externally, we'll be setting them, because some of us will not want to set them because we're like, everybody make New Year's resolutions and I never really keep up to it. And sometimes we make internal New Year's resolutions and try to just keep it away from other persons so that we don't seem like we're doing everything like everybody else is doing. But nevertheless, we still have our New Year's resolutions. Tongue twisters. By the end of the day, I want to be straight up and real with you guys and say, yo, focus on being a better version of yourself. I know that might sound lame, sound like something you hear 24/7 of the day, but yo, focus on being a better version of yourself. Like, if you're a Christian, don't think that you're unshakable, you're unmovable. If you've never fallen, if you never fall down this year, don't think that 2021 can be the year you fall down. And I think that yeah, we know that God is close, and know that time is getting closer and closer for him to return. But I'll say this now, and I'll continue to say this. Yo, as an individual, as a human being, you are already predisposed or exposed to sin, and therefore your flesh already know how sin feel and how sin tastes, right? And so it's as long as you don't feed that spirit there in our way there, and sometimes you even feed the spirit and the flesh still take over. I'll tell you that much. I've been feeding the spirit at times. I can remember back when I was younger, when I just got filled with the Holy Spirit, and I was feeding the spirit, man. I was feeding it. I won't say, I don't know if I can't say, you know, whether or not I was feeding it holistically or, you know, consistently or whatever it is, but I was feeding it, right? And I stopped watching TV for a while. I stopped watching TV for a while. I stopped listening to certain music. It was just straight gospel music, all these things, and lost in masturbation. These things weren't even a part of my thinking anymore for a while, I believe, right? And out of the blue, I fell down, and I was like, how? But how? Like, how? And it was and it was almost in the most innocent way ever. You know, I just couldn't understand how, and at that point in time I lost a bit of my faith. I believe, not losing faith, but I think I was just frustrated. I was like, me I try so hard and me just fall back just so easy. Like, what is yeah, what is this? You know, like, oh, you know, man, them say it, what is this? What is? Yeah, anyways, so just don't believe that you can't follow. Don't believe that you're invincible to it. You're not. You're really not. You're really, if I know for the grace of God, you gotta drop down, you gotta fall down right this out, right at the gutter, right this out. You gotta be as, yeah, if enough for the grace of God, you can be as bad as the rapist, you can be as bad as the murderer, you can be as bad as the liar, you can be as bad as the drunkard, you can be as bad as the man when you stop embezzling money, you can be as bad as all of these people. If I never for the grace of God, you would have fallen down to that level, right? So just keep on bigging up God. Nobody feel like you're greater than you think. Nobody feel like you're greater than you really are, because the Bible even talk about that too, thinking about yourself as higher than, you know, as being higher than you actually are as an individual. Don't think about yourself as that, because that will be a premise, or premises, or whatever it is. You know, that can be a foundation for you to actually fall down hard. That was my lesson that I learned in 2020. Yeah, and I cling on to it. There are persons that criticize me and say, yo, I'm going to be better than people because or whatever. And I don't know. It's like them not understand, say you're not better yet, and I feel like you're better than people. It's a matter of you know where you come from and you know you don't want to go back there. That's just exactly what it is. You know where you come from and you don't want to go back there. Simple as that. So, sister, brother, man, woman, pitney, young lady, young boy, whoever you are, just know where you're coming from and know say you don't want to go back there. Nobody make nobody influence you and tell you foolishness. Say yo, you know, you're going to get better than people and all these things. No, and I bet you're going to get better than people. It's just know you know where you come from and you don't want to go back there. That's just it. Yo, this has been Speak Up with Javaune Simpson. Much love. God bless. Take care.